July 21st, 1861. This Tutor Hall community that we are now in would never be the same. Starting at 6 a.m., artillery fire and small arms fire from about 1.5 miles away began the battle that we know as First Manassas or First Bull Run. My name is Dave Bourne. I'm one of the historians here at Ben Lomond Historic Site, one of the houses that would be used as a hospital after that battle. And we are standing on what was called the Rock Road. This is the road that the 1st Brigade, Army of the Shenandoah, used to go towards the sound of the guns that Sunday morning. And while they were marching on this road, two men, one Hunter McGuire, a doctor from Winchester, Virginia, and a hospital steward named Edward A. Craighill, a graduate of the University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine. He graduated in March of 1861. Saw the house behind us there and saw that it was very sturdily made and would be an excellent hospital. And so they approached the folks that owned this house at the time or were renting it, the Pringles, and told them their house was being sequestered, suggested that they leave, but the Pringles had 500 head of sheep among other livestock here. They could not leave, and so they had to stay here. But they were given another option, and that option was they could move into an upstairs bedroom where they could stay, and the rest of the house would be converted into a hospital for the Confederate troops as they came back from the battle in 1861. These soldiers that were marching to war on both sides were carrying largely the old smoothbore muskets, 69 caliber, and so it was a round ball just like this. But in 1850, a French captain named Claude Minier developed a bullet that was improved upon by one of the engineers at Harper's Ferry named James Burton, called the Minier ball, or what we call the mini ball. And it looks much like a bullet does today. It's hollow in the back, and it allowed a soldier, common soldier, to carry a rifled musket for the first time. So many of these soldiers that are marching off to this battle in 1861 are carrying pattern 1855 muskets that fired the Minier ball. And it was able to be fired at man-sized targets between 300 and 600 yards. This old round ball right here was shot out of a smoothbore musket, and it was only accurate up to about 100 yards. So there was a big difference in the technology. Unfortunately, the tactics of the day had not quite caught up, and so many of these men will succumb to very serious wounds. I also brought a mini ball that has hit something hard right here, and what it hit that was hard was the ground, dirt. If the mini ball hits something like a bone and flattens out like this, it no longer travels true. So the mini ball is going to roll around inside. So a bullet might go in here and come out up here, go in there, come out down there, go in there and roll around and not come out at all. And so many men, about 2,700 men, will have to be treated at one of the hospitals in this area. Now we are at one of those hospitals. The Pringle House Hospital is just behind us there, but there are others in the area too. Those hospitals include the Sudley Church, which is out on Sudley Road. One of the more famous folks that was treated there was Sullivan Ballou from the 2nd Rhode Island, and he actually succumbed to his wounds. He actually died there at the Sudley Church. Another is Portici, the home of Frank and Fannie Lewis, and this road would have actually gone out to the Lewis property. That house was also used as a hospital after the Battle of First Manassas, and among those that were treated there was Captain James Ricketts. His wife Fannie actually found him there, and though Ricketts was a prisoner of war, he would wind up going to Libby Prison in Richmond. He did survive his wounds thanks to Fanny, who actually traveled with him. Those are just a few of the many hospitals that were in this immediate area right here around the plains of Manassas, where the Battle of First Bull Run or First Manassas was fought. We are now in the house at Ben Lomond Historic Site. This property was actually called Pringle House Hospital at the time of the Battle of First Manassas. The Pringles were actually renting the house from the Chins. And all the soldiers that came through this particular hospital had cards like this filled out with all of their information on it. You'll notice right here, can you see that? Right here, it says General Hospital, Pringles House, Manassas, Virginia. So this was a general hospital. Now most of the wounded men that wound up in this hospital would first go through a field hospital, a place called Holcomb's Branch. It was actually near the Lewis farm, Portici. An assistant surgeon there would treat these men, determine the severity of their wound, and if it was too severe for them to go back to their regiment eventually, then they would have to be transported a distance of about 2 miles to here at Pringle House Hospital. Now here in this particular room, this is where Lieutenant Colonel William Fitzhugh Lee was brought, and actually his picture is right over my shoulder there. You can see him up on the mantle. William Fitzhugh Lee was actually wounded when the 33rd Virginia was overrunning the artillery position of Captain Charles Griffin. And those guns were actually captured by the Confederates because they were dressed in blue uniforms at that time. There is evidence of other soldiers here, but when Lieutenant Colonel Lee was brought to this room, those soldiers were actually moved out. Lieutenant Colonel Lee and his family had this room to themselves. Lee actually contracted gangrene, today we would call it sepsis, in the middle of his sternum. And as a result of that wound, he slowly died. He actually passed away on the morning of the 30th of July, about 8:40 in the morning, in this room. If you enjoyed the content of this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And please come visit us at Ben Lomond at your next opportunity. Thank you.